robbed. Kirsten Maligham now reports that a few of the members of the scores that were attacked and robbed at the hands of persons implanted in Agricola, with the support of the AFC and APNU alliance, came forward to share their horrifying experience with the media.
Scores of innocent people became victims of the Agricola protest yesterday when several angry protesters began to rob, beat and attempt to maim them as they tried to make their way along the East Bank corridor. Some of those affected by this latest unrest were at Freedom House today, where they spoke of their ordeals. Majid Hussain, Central Executive Member of the PPPC, stated that in his opinion the entire event was orchestrated and that it seemed to be only certain people of a certain ethnicity and association that were being targeted.
Protesters were moving from one area to the other area. They were pelting the police with bottles, missiles, and other things, taunting the police. And they were also harassing other persons moving. And during all this, you have groups of people, the protesters, and very interesting and surprising to some people, they were saying things like, this protest is, we get specific instruction from certain people. And then they didn't, try and say, well, leave it at certain people. They were bold enough to say that AFC and APNU give them specific instruction that certain people looking at certain type of people or looking at a particular way should be attacked or should not be wrong here.
Hussain explained that he had taken out his cell phone to contact his wife when a group of men ambushed him. He said that one protester dealt blows to his head and body, while another hit his right hand with a cutlass.
I was making a phone call to my family who was trapped on the other side of Georgetown to tell them, well, okay, it's not safe to come. And then there was a gang of 10 to 15 persons, and those are personally protest because I saw them earlier while I was passing. And the first one of them hit me side of my head with a wood. And one of them held on to the phone, while another one started to hit me on my on my hand here with a cutlass. So I held on to the phone, and this hand became immobile. While I was doing that, there's another one with a knife, with a knife, and tried to stab me.
Two females attending the University of Guyana spoke about their experiences last evening. Priya Ruplal and Nirmala Govinda emphasized that they were both frustrated and scared because they were stranded in the city for several hours.
There I'm in classes trying to focus, and I'm getting messages. My mom is saying she's stranded on the road, and there's a lot of catastrophe at Agricola. Vehicles burned, turned over, people are being robbed, and I'm at classes and my mom is there, and I don't know what to do. I feel so helpless. And I'm trying to call as much persons as I can in class, trying to get my mom help, to get her off the road, and I can't. So eventually the lecturer was enlightened about what was happening, and he dismissed all persons who were living on East Bank to go home. And as soon as that happened, I rushed out, but there's no way I could have get home as well. I was also stranded there.
Sitting there waiting for about 2 hours to see if the situation would have calmed down, but nothing happened. And eventually another colleague parents came and they collected us, and we were on Mandela Avenue for around 3 hours until we saw persons turning around their vehicles, and they were like, they're coming to hurt you guys, turn around. And eventually everybody in the vehicle started panicking, and you just heard a bunch of screams, and you saw persons running down the road, and you heard bottles breaking.
Meanwhile, Christiandriana Prasad, a young female, expressed her concerns about the incidents that occurred, and another visibly shaken young woman who requested that her identity remain hidden for fear of victimization, told the media of her experience with her 9-year-old son.
However, I received calls from my family saying there's protests or whatever in Agricola, and I can't go. I heard vehicles were turned over and were being burnt and so on. I was left stranded at work, so I decided to stay there, hoping that the entire situation would have cleared up by a certain time or so on. And I was left stranded at work, and it was late in the night. So I had to go and see if I could have gotten somewhere to stay, and lucky enough someone was willing to take me in, so I had to stay at somebody's house. And I left that person's house until in the morning.
So we were stuck for over 2 hours in the traffic trying to get home. And then my son, of course, being a kid that he is, he got very hungry. And so he wanted something to eat. And so I had to get out of there, out of fear. and out of the fact that my son was hungry to get him something to eat. And so I tried to turn around the car in all that traffic. Some people, you know, they were kind enough to let me go through, and so I turned around, and even as I was turning around, people were shouting, a woman, do not turn around because they are overturning vehicles there.
Kristen Macklingham reporting for TV.